have the exact number average class size, but I'm going to say we're right around 18 or 19.
So, do we feel that this would affect the actual study habits of our students then? I mean, being 18 went up to 24. Do you feel that this would actually affect our students' study habits in class?
Not at this point. We have classes that are running much smaller. I would say we have a couple of classes that are a few classes that are at 20, 22, and that's 22 is about, what we allow is K through 4. Fifth grade can actually go up to 27 by state law.
I guess also another question I have is third and fourth grade. This is where we test for start, isn't it? So again, there's actually going to be a strain on some of classes that are third and fourth grade, right?
As far as strain, not really. I mean, this is about the average that we've always had in these classes. I will tell you, you'll see that there are no waivers at Adams or Stonewall because that's not actually allowed by state if a campus is IR. We also capped the classes at both Adams and Stonewall at 20, but that was effective as of this past Monday. So if we had a class that had more than 20, we did leave it. Our goal was not to move kids from their home campus, and we did everything that we could. When we submitted this, as you can see, we have 11 waivers, and I will tell you, as of today, we do have 4 overloads from those campuses.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mariano.
What I'd also ask the board to review page, right after page 28, where you can see where the district staff has made efforts since 2012, 2013 school year, where our board that year approved 93 district-wide waivers, where the following year, 2013-14, we narrowed it down to 65, followed by 2014-15 to 15 waivers. 2015-16 to 14, 2016 to 17, 14, and this year we're asking again for approval of 11 waivers district-wide. If you look at the chart also, you can see kinder, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth by school. And again, I can have Mrs. Gallegos help explain that process and what we mean by the number that's there listed, where we have a 1 or a 2, for example, for Carabel in the first grade, or the 1 for Columbia Heights on second grade, 1, and so forth. So again, we can further explain, but again, we've gone from, in the last 6 years, from 93 waivers to 11 district-wide. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madigar, for pointing that out, and it does put it into perspective. Looks like 2015, 2016, 14, 2016, 2017, again 14, and then 2017 to 2018, we're looking at 11. Mr. Morano?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I guess, Ms. Gallegos, you mentioned the overloads from the previous week. You said, can you clarify that? Because you said now we have 4. Can you kind of elaborate and clarify that for us, please?
Yes, sir. So when we had this meeting and discussed whether we were going to do overloads or ask for the waivers, as I indicated, our ultimate goal is that you stay in your neighborhood school. All right. We had this meeting last Friday. So at that point, we said Stonewall would be capped. We said Adams would be capped. And then we had a couple of other schools that had already reached the max. And so between last Friday and today, we have had 4 kids come in that we have had to overload so we wouldn't go above the state requirement.
And so that's at Stonewall and at Adams?
Both. And we do know that we have indications that Adams would be receiving a couple of more students. So those kids would end up being overloads because of the IR status, we want to keep Adams and Stonewall at a smaller number. And that's why we decided to cap any classes that are not at 20 going forward.
So then they'll still be at 20 regardless of the new influx of students, correct?
Yes, sir, unless they are at above the 20 prior to our meeting.
But we're not moving any students, right, like you said, right, are we, from their own campuses?
Right, the overloads are students who would be moved to a different campus, the closest campus that has the space available.
Mr. Chair, again, to answer Mr. Moreno's question, that if the board does not approve those 11 waivers, then staff will have to go and tell these kids across the district they'll have to go to a different school besides their home school. That's basically the bottom line. That they won't be at their home school. They'll have to go to another school as close as possible to their home school because the waivers were not approved.
Mr. Chair, or hire another teacher.
That is correct.
Mr. Chair, I have another question.
That is correct.
Mr. Chair, I have another question. In regards to Rayburn, I mean, I've seen the actual drop going from 2012 to 2014, but then you see that gradual increase going back up on 2016, 17, 17, 18. What concerns me is that things like that, where I see numbers going up, we should automatically put in a teacher in place instead of just having more classes. You're talking about the third and fourth grade year. It's their toughest year. We see drop in grades on third and fourth every year. I think that's a focus we have to be more vigilant on. And not put our teachers stressful there, because that's a hard, I mean, you're talking about start testing there.
Again, I did have Mr. Eggles explain it a little more thorough but again, I think there's somewhat of a misunderstanding overall. But again, staff's recommendation is our board to approve the 11 waivers, and like Mr. Abunda said, if not, then we can hire additional staff, remove staff members. So either we have other options, but again, what we wanted to share is that the district has made an effort that a few years ago, we went from over 90 waivers to 11. And again, that is a tremendous effort on our part. But again, the staff's recommendation, but again, if the majority board chooses not to approve the waivers, then we'll go to option, our next option.
I'm not saying not to approve the waivers totally. I mean, I'm not saying go in and not approve any of them. What I'm saying is, can we look at hiring teachers for those schools that you see an increase? Now, it's a great job that we went from 93 to 11. Awesome. I don't want to see that many waivers going out. But again, I think we can still squeeze a little more out and prevent more waivers from going out.
Sir, we also have to remember that sometimes it depends on the grade level, and then that some campuses actually don't have any space left classroom. And so we look at all those and take all of that into consideration when we're looking.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Mantra, yes, sir. Ms. Daniels, are we going to provide kind of assistance to those classrooms that are going to have executive kids, especially in the testing grades?
So we have our instructional coaches and we have the CNI staff that goes.
I understand that, but that's throughout the whole school. Now, can we have, like in Rayburn, we have we have third grade and fourth grade. Is there any way we can hire and we won't have to pay a full-time teacher, they don't have to have a classroom, but we can provide some extra assistance, especially to those classes? Just, I know we have a regular people that go around, but they go around to all the different teachers. And just for those classes, mainly because it's a grading test, testing grade. And I think if we can provide that, that would eliminate having to hire a teacher full-time and, having her just in one, and making room for another room and stuff like that. Is there any way we can provide something like that?
Mr. Chair, real quick, Mr. Maliga, couple things. That's why I kind of noted if you provide that kind of a staff assessment, we could have an idea of who's at those campuses, because I think it's important that we know that you mentioned they have those instructional coaches specifically for those campuses, so we can provide the board with a listing of who's who and who's where. I think that would make it a little bit easier for them to digest and see, we do have some support, and perhaps we do need someone here at this campus, or perhaps at this campus, but they have a better whole picture of, okay, this is what we're providing them with. This is the support, this is the classroom teacher, this is the instructional coaches, this is, I think that would make it a little bit simpler for us to digest this information because, that's what I requested in the previous meeting last week. I think that would assist us, assist you, and not having to answer these questions. But the other thing to clarify, Mr. Manigal, when you said with the waivers, no one gets to leave, but am I under the wrong impression that you just said the overloads at Adams and at Stonewall Flanders, those kids will have to leave, right? Because they're capped at 20.
Yes, sir. I also want to make sure that, and I know we all understand here, and while the majority of the time our district is rated based on STAR and 3, 4, 5, our scores at 3, 4, 5 will continue to fluctuate if we aren't supporting pre-K 1, 2, and pre-K 1 and 2, and they're just as important as those STAR grades also.
Any other further discussion? There being no further discussion, will you please take the vote? We had a motion by Mr. Bundy, we had a second from Mr. Juan Macho, we had a discussion. There being no further discussion, will you please take a vote? All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. Moving on to item number F. Let me read that real quick. 5F, consider and take appropriate action on the request and award RFP 180706 for the purchase of 2 7-passenger utility vehicles and 1 16-foot enclosed trailer. And
So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Abundis. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Garcia. Do we have any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. Is he,
Yeah, I just have a quick question that
Yes, sir.
I asked earlier and I forgot. That 16-foot trailer, what is that for?
That, sir, is, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Knight, what did you share with you? Can you explain this and then again, Ms. Diane Wilson, and I'll wrap it up if needed. Mr. Knight, go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Knight. Yes, sir, Mr. Mendoza, it's to cart and carry the robotics equipment when they go to competitions under the CAPE program. That allows them to house it within a protected area as they go to these competitions. Currently, they're having to seek a trailer in order to carry these sensitive items to their competition. So based on the funding that was available to them for the CAPE program, they looked at the feasibility of them and also the cost as far as renting it versus purchasing it outright for the district.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I thought it was for your barbecue.
But just, Mr. Chair,
yes, sir.
but for the record, on the board, on our notes, it's not only just for robotic, it's for all K programs.
That's correct. Just to add a little bit more, we have kids that we take to, for example, our hospitality kids, and we take them up to Austin to take their end of the year exam, their state exam. We go to the CAPE annual competitions throughout the state, and again, we just with the additional funding, we're not needing to rent any more trailers and travel for the CAPE program and other programs for robotic and stimulating college. Thank you.
Any further discussion? There being no further discussion, then a motion by Mr. Bundy, the second by Ms. Castillo. And can I please take the vote? Those in favor? Unanimous decision, motion carries. Moving on, item number G. Okay, let me read that out. 5G. Consider and take appropriate action on the request and award for RFQ 180713 for structural engineering services.
So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Luis. Second.
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Carrillo. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, that was beautiful. I would like for us to bring this back to the building committee like it should be. I mean, I mentioned that at the building committee when they kind of mentioned it, and it was mentioned in the notes that this was discussed. So I would like for this to go back to the the next building committee, and then once we discuss it, then we'll bring it back and report out back to the full board, like we've done in the past. So that's my suggestion. So my motion, actually, I want to make a substitute motion that we table this to the next regular call board meeting so that we can discuss it at the next building committee meeting.
I'll second that.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Soto, is this going to impede anything, any type of progress or anything of that nature?
Are you saying like a priority, like it needs to be done, or what was it? No, I mean, it's been 16 years that these rooftops have been like this. We just got that letter from the structural engineer when they were doing the train litigation, and that's why we put it forward before school ended.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, we had a motion by David originally to approve it. We had a second by who? Ms. Gaudio to approve it, but then for discussion.
That's fair.
Yes.
Just a quick question. What did you say that we received a report from a structural engineer?
Yes, sir. Back in May, I emailed you guys, that emailed Mr. Manial, the structural engineer, that was in litigation with Train. They had a report done when they were going into litigation. They hired an instructor, hired a structural engineer to assess our rooftop, our structural joist. They returned the report to Mr. Manial saying, in their behalf, that they need to divulge what is on this report because there is some structural issues with some of these roofs. So in turn, we turned that letter to you guys on May on HH, letting you guys know that we're going to go out for an RFQ on these services. Then the building committee, I stated that we had 5 submittals.
Okay, well, before bringing it back up to what David says, I'm just wondering if we do have to get a structure of the services, if we already have a report on what's supposed to be done.
We did get one from the Lanier law firm where they hired a structural engineer, but we wanted a second assessment on if it was based on his opinion. We would like to have our opinion on a structural engineer. We can't move forward if you want me to bring that to the building committee to go with this report that the Lanier law firm hired the structural engineer.
Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and bring it forward at the building committee.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, hold on, I just want to say, make sure we get this right. We had a motion, we had a second. David wants to amend his original motion, so that means we would still need a second for the amended motion. We had a second motion by Mr. Mancha to second David's amended motion. Okay, to bring it back to the building committee. Okay, so do we have any further discussion on the amended motion? On the amended motion, then we'll take a vote. All those in favor? Okay, I'm sorry, just want to make sure we got it for the record. All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed? Raise my hand. Okay, so motion carries. They're going to go and take it back to the building committee. Okay? Just to present it and see whatever you guys need to do. Okay, so moving forward. Okay, moving forward, we got all the consent items. So 6A, individual items. The board will be asked to hear and approve the presentation of the targeted improvement plan for Stonewall Flanders Elementary and the targeted elements of the Adams Elementary. Ms. Cayos.
So board, tonight, in the past, you would have heard targeted improvement plans for both year 1 and year 2. The state has changed a little bit of the process. We will have a targeted improvement plan presentation by Dr. Smith at Stonewall Flanders. And then Ms. Rodriguez from Adams will present the targeted elements for Adams. The change in this whole process for year 1 is that a year 1 campus does not have to develop a targeted improvement plan right now. They've actually extended it over the entire year. They still are required to have a PSP. They're still required to have a DCSI. So it will look a little bit different. And like I said, all you will hear tonight from Adams Elementary is the targeted elements. So first up will be Dr. Smith from Stonewall Flanders.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here tonight. And I want to first of all, just on a side note, thank you for the opportunity to serve your district. It's my honor. We'll be starting with our targeted improvement plan, which we've worked to develop over the past 3 to 4 weeks with Ms. Damiani, our PSP. The indexes that you referenced earlier are in front of you. It shows the difference in our scores from 2015-16 until this past year. In Index 1, which is student achievement, we had an increase of 3% in that index. We did meet that, we did not meet that. The index required is 60. In Index 2, student progress, we had a huge increase. The expectation is only 32%. We went from 39 to 50, so 11-point increase is evident of the hard work that went into Stonewall Flanders last year. Index 3, we also did not meet that one. Our score remained stagnant at 27. You do need a 28 in that index. And Index 4 at 12 is required. Last year, 12 was obtained, and this year there was a 4% increase to 16. And that's the college readiness index. So lots of improvement, lots of evidence of lots of hard work last year. These are individual scores by content area. You can see in reading, we went up only 1%. Lots of reasons for that. When we drill down, you'll find out in a minute why we feel that happened. Our goal for this year is 63. That's a 10-point increase, and we think it's very doable. In writing, our score went up 7 points, and we're shooting for a 60. That's a huge jump, but we have a targeted plan in place, and we believe that is also very attainable. In math, there was a 10-point increase, the largest increase in all of the content areas. We're shooting for a 70 this year, another 11-point gain. And in science, our score did drop. It dropped by 11 points. We've done a lot of work in restructuring some